All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine three news headlines, let's say from November 2025. First up, a fintech startup just raised a ton of money for AI agents that do mortgages. Second, a brand new company gets this huge valuation to create basically a stock market for AI computing power. And third, China's tech giants, they're moving their AI development to Southeast Asia. Now, on the surface, those sound like three totally different stories, right? Well, they're not. Today, we're going to connect the dots and show you how they're all pieces of one single massive story that's changing, well, everything.
So, first things first, let's talk about the front lines, the new AI workforce. This is where all this high-tech stuff stops being theoretical and starts, actually doing things in the real world, stuff that affects our lives.
Okay, so let's meet our first player, a company called Tidal Wave. They're jumping into one of the most, let's be honest, painful processes out there, getting a mortgage. You know what I'm talking about, right? Mountains of paperwork, endless waiting. It's just a mess. So Tidal Wave's big idea is to throw all that out and replace it with smart AI agents. And what's an AI agent? Well, think of it as a specialized piece of software, a little digital worker that's built to do one complex job really, really well. And in this case, that job is processing your mortgage.
And what's so cool is just how simple they make it. Look at this. It's basically 3 steps. Step 1, you upload your documents. Pretty standard. But then, step 2, this is where the magic happens. Instead of a person digging through every single line, a whole team of these AI agents just zaps through it, instantly. They're checking your pay stubs, your bank statements, all of it. And the result? Step 3, you, the person trying to get the loan, get instant feedback. No more waiting for days, it just works. All that friction, gone.
And look, this is way more than just a cool idea. This is big, big business. Tidal Wave just secured a $22 million investment. When you see a number like that, it tells you one thing. The smart money is betting that these AI agents are about to automate, well, everything. But here's the thing. These agents can't just run on their own. They need power. They need fuel.
And that's the perfect question to take us to the next layer of our story. I mean, if these AI agents are the new workforce, what's powering them? What's the digital electricity, the raw material that makes this whole revolution possible?
Well, that brings us right here. We're zooming out a bit, from the software itself, those AI agents, to the actual physical hardware that makes them tick. This is where we get into the wild scrabble for something called AI compute.
So, AI compute, what is it? In the simplest terms, it's just raw, insane processing power. It's the horsepower you need to train and run these incredibly complex AI models. And it all comes from thousands upon thousands of these specialized chips, GPUs, all working in concert. Honestly, it's the engine driving this entire AI revolution. No compute, no AI. It's that simple.
But here's the problem. Actually getting your hands on this digital horsepower, it's a total mess. The whole market for it is chaotic, it's inefficient. A startup like Tidal Wave absolutely needs this power, but finding it, securing it, it's super hard and crazy expensive. The sources we looked at literally call it a broken market.
So, enter our second company, SF Compute. Their whole mission is to fix this broken system. And how are they going to do it? By building something amazing. Basically, a stock exchange for compute power. They're creating a marketplace where, if you're a company with extra GPUs just sitting there, you can sell that capacity. And if you're a developer who needs it, you can rent it. It creates a real, transparent price and makes sure this incredibly valuable resource isn't just sitting idle.
And if you want to know how valuable that mission is, just look at these numbers. SF Compute just raised $40 million at a $300 million valuation. That's huge. What that tells you is that investors are betting that the people building the roads and power plants for AI are just as important as the people building the AIs themselves. But this whole scramble, it's not just a business story.
And this quote right here, this is the key. This is what takes us to our third and final layer, because this resource, AI compute, it's become so unbelievably important that it's now sitting at the very heart of a global power struggle.
Okay, so now we're zooming out one final time. We're going beyond Silicon Valley and looking at the entire world stage. Because the battle to control the engine of AI, well, it's literally redrawing the map of global power as we speak.
So here's the central conflict in a nutshell. On one side, you have the United States, which is home to the companies like NVIDIA that design these super powerful chips. The US has put restrictions in place, making it hard for China to get its hands on the best of the best. It's a clear move to slow down a rival's AI progress. But in response, China's tech giants, they've had to get very, very creative.
And this is their workaround. Get this, the biggest names in Chinese tech, we're talking Alibaba, ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, they are now training their most advanced AI models outside of China. They're setting up massive operations in data centers all across Southeast Asia. And why? Because there they can still get access to those top-of-the-line NVIDIA chips that they need to stay competitive. It's this huge strategic chess move happening not on a board but in server farms, and it could totally transform Southeast Asia into this new kind of neutral hub for the future of AI.
Okay, so let's bring it all back home. We've got a mortgage startup, a marketplace for compute power, and a global tech standoff. How in the world do these three things connect? Well, they're not just connected. They're all part of the exact same system.
This table really lays it all out perfectly. Think of it like a stack. At the very top, you have the agents. That's our tidal wave story, right? The actual AIs doing the work, automating entire industries. But they can't exist without the layer below, capital. That's SF Compute, building the infrastructure and the market for that power. And then, at the very foundation of it all, geopolitics, the global struggle that decides who gets access to that resource and where. You see, every single layer is built on the one underneath it.
And that right there is the big so what. This is why all of this matters. It's not just some abstract tech story. The little bit of code that could one day process your mortgage, that code is directly tied to a multi-million-dollar market for computing power. And that market is being twisted and shaped by a massive struggle between the world's biggest superpowers. It is all one single, deeply interconnected system.
Which leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. As this incredible new ecosystem keeps exploding, who gets to write the rules? Will it be the innovators, the people like Tidal Wave who are dreaming up new ways to use AI? Will it be the market makers, the SF Computes of the world who are building the financial plumbing? Or will it be the world powers, battling it out for control of the fundamental resource itself? The answer to that? Well, that's going to define our future.